Good evening, folks. Welcome to Melbourne, where we have a blockbuster clash on our hands. The Melbourne Storm taking on the Cowboys in what shapes up to be a bit of a one-sided slog, but you never know what can happen in the SRL tonight. In the commentary box, it's Tones and I, Sticko, joined by Anthony McDonald. Anthony, what's your take on this game?
Well, down here at Fortress Amy Park, it's going to be hard to go past the Storm. They've got far and away the best for and against of the SRL at the moment, and I think they're going to take it a little bit personal that the Rabbitohs have leapfrogged them over into first position. So it's a matter of 2 versus 13 tonight, and the Cowboys, if they're going to come away with a victory, they're going to need to play their A game, Snicko.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Cowboys are last match losers up against the Roosters. The Storm, they got up as well in their game. So form states that the Storm should have a bit of a easy game this time, but you never know. The man with the ball, Tama Turbo, has been electric all season. He's up there in the SimVP votings. And then their vice captain, Akatang, scored 2 tries in their last 2 games. So he's certainly a man on fire. For the Cowboys, last week they didn't really get out of second gear. So I'm not sure who the danger man is for them, Anthony. Who do you think could make an impact?
Michael Crimp at the fullback. He's had a couple of periods where he's really sort of turned it on and embarrassed a couple of sides throughout the first couple of rounds. But he's also unfortunately been having to do a lot of tackling. So if the Cowboys can really fix some of that those defensive issues they've had the last couple of weeks, they might really give the Storm a run for their money.
Yeah, I hope so for the sake of a competitive game. As Willie Wishart, actually, he's probably been their best. He's been terrific all season at getting out of half. One of the form hookers you have to think in the competition is the Cowboys look for an early kick here. It's the captain, Justin Monkey, looking for a 4-20, but Tama Turbo's all over that one. And he's going to break one tackle there before he's brought down pretty well. So the Storm are going to have to work out of danger here. But the Cowboys, they had a pretty good set to start with. As now it's Nolt up into the field. He's one of the newer men in this Storm team, a mid-season signing after a few inactives, and he's found his way into this team quite well. As now Galaxy plays a long ball out to Quinton Cotter. He'll be brought down on about the 40-metre line, and this is what the Storm do. They just march through their territory, get out of trouble relatively easily, almost like clockwork, as Cochrane now takes them just about to halfway. Quinton Cotter doubles up on his efforts for a 5th tackle here, and they'll kick downfield here. The kick chase, typically so far this season from the Storm, has been pretty elite, so I'll have to wait and see what the Cowboys can do as it's Galaxy downfield, taken by Nate O'Donnell. And he's wrapped up there pretty comfortably. So the Storm, it looks like they've settled in straight away. AMAC, can the Cowboys return serve?
Well, there we go. Speak of the devil. There goes Crimp working his way up the middle. Normally, the Storm have the middle on lockdown. Their forwards have been superb, both defensively and in attack. So if that's what they're doing tonight so far, there might be a little chink in the armor, Snicker.
Yeah, potentially. I know last week Crimp had an early line break and then was just about unsighted for the rest of the game. So maybe he can improve on that and have 2 line breaks this game. I'm not sure. As the Cowboys are going to be brought down 28 out from the Storm line, 5th tackle. They're probably going to have to punt. I think it's Chad Johnson. That's who they go to. And he goes downfield, down to Eddie White. Sorry, Jose Rariri Jones is pushed backwards there and a pretty good tackle. The Storm now having to work their way out of danger. Nolt plays a short ball out to Akatank, and he's into the backfield. Akatank has just been a one-man wrecking machine the last couple of weeks. He's continued it here as now Galaxy plays the ball out to Nolt, and he's going to push forward here. They're really peppering the left side here to Storm so far in this game. You had to see a big shift to the right, or really anyone even get tackled out there. As now play inside border, Jack White, the captain. He'll be brought down about 30 out from the Cowboys line. Sorry, about halfway. I got my lines mixed up there. It's now inside border Akatank this time. Not the same result as before. It was the same play, but they've learnt the Cowboys and they number up pretty well there. It's going to be up to the Storm to kick their way downfield once again. It's Galaxy. He goes rinse and repeat straight back down to Nate O'Donnell. And once again, he's just wrapped up in a pretty good tackle there. So we're starting to settle into this game. Both sides have sort of had a couple of sets with the ball, Anthony. Am I right in saying the Storm probably look a little bit tighter so far?
Yeah,
Tighter,
so
as
far.
in not tighter. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so far they're really peppering Nate O'Donnell's side there, as you've said, Snicko. And well, that was that was a hell of a risky ball there. On the other hand, though, the Cowboys, their kicking game, Johnson, no, they're not going to give it to Johnson there, unfortunately. Probably a good move. Johnson's had a pretty good kicking game all season for the Cowboys. He's the first player in the SRL 2.0 to actually nail a 2040. So If you can continue that form tonight and keep kicking it down here to Weary Jones, the Cowboys, well, they can really outmuscle the Storm if they can put their mind to it here.
Yeah, their forwards really need a number up as they play a short ball to Jack White. Interesting so far. Both sides seem to like the camera. It's been all played on our half of the field. As now Corcoran gets out of half and he's going to wrestle for a few couple of meters there. I'd like to see both teams try and spread it a little bit. I know especially the Storm right side with the ball. They've barely had a chance. It's now inside ball to Quinton Cotter. This is about as far across the field as they've got, about halfway. Third tackle. That was a bit long in that one, but the Cowboys get away with it. Now, finally, they go right. It's going to be looking at a yuck kick, Luke Metcalf. Maybe that's why they haven't let him touch the ball. He just shanked that one directly across field, and now the Cowboys are their first chance with a bit of an attacking set here. They could do some damage. Carrigan's going to be brought down about 30 out from the line. Who are you looking for here, AMAC, to do the damage?
Oh, I'm looking straight up the middle there for Wishart, straight out of dummy half. He absolutely blitzed it last week. He had a really good game for the Cowboys. He just came up against a much better side, unfortunately. So if Wishart can punch up the guts with some of those 5 meter dashes up the middle, other than that, give it to the forwards. We need a big prop to go over Snicko. It's been a long time since we've had a domination from an 8 or a 10.
Yeah, good. I'm a fullback now, so I'm happy with that. There's a big gap in the middle of the field here for the Storm. They haven't numbered up correctly. They sort themselves out there. And it's going to be a good grubber here, picked up by Akatank, but that's going to be a line dropout. The Cowboys just tightening the screws slightly here to put a bit of pressure on the Storm. And it's been a while since we've seen the Storm put under this kind of early pressure. Do you reckon maybe this could be the key to beating them? Just make a heap of tackle early, Anthony, and try and tire them out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think the big challenge for them last week was, well, it wasn't a challenge for them so much, but they kept forcing errors out of the Manly Sea Eagles, and the Sea Eagles just kept inviting them after set after set after set. So this might be a case of coming into the game little bit arrogant here at home and making a misstep here or there, because the Cowboys, they're playing it for their third on the 20, and here they come.
Yeah, they've been pretty much on the whole game, the Cowboys. There's a big hit off the ball. Akatank gets one there. Big hit from me. I think it was on the captain, Justin Monkey, sat down for a tackle. Luckily, they cleaned up the ball. And now it's Justin Monkey. He gets the ball again. He wants seconds. Once again, driven backwards in a tackle there. So 2 not very happy runs for Justin. Looks like they got shape out to the left here. That's where they go to Deuce, who puts up a bomb. It's going to come down about 3 out from the line. The bat back comes in. He goes to Wishart. He's going to fall over here. Wishart has scored in the corner. He has been the Cowboys' best player all season. And that's a very well-deserved try, Anthony.
Well, it was definitely unconventional. How many times have we seen that tap back there for the number 9 and they get caught up way too far off the line? He just used his little candy head there and he forced his way over. Hopefully, Mr. Boldy here, he can get across for another 2 and the Cowboys can go 6 up.
Yeah, Chad Johnson is so ugly. Like, as an expert on ugly SRL players, he is something else, let me tell you. As he kicks this one, that's a pretty good kick. Might swing back. It doesn't, so it's 4-0 here to the Cowboys. Yeah, just come on, man. Plastic surgery needed. He's going to walk back to the mark. But yeah, the Storm, probably that was a long time coming, that one. For a long time, they were just getting pushed backwards over and over. Then, of course, it really comes down to that Metcalf shank kick. It was pretty much atrocious. And eventually, about 10 tackles later, cost them the try. So now they're going to want to work back into this one. For the first 10 minutes or so, Anthony, the Storm had all the running. They were making more meters. They were kicking better. And then it was just the one error that just really flipped the script.
Yeah, and this will be a real test here for Jack White and his boys because the Storm, they're not used to trailing points in a game. So if they get a little bit of a sniff of defeat here and they let things go a little bit too quickly, they might find that it's too hard to pull that deficit back in.
Yeah, and conversely, for the Cowboys, they're definitely not used to leading. So we'll have to see what they can do. As now Wishart, he doubles up on his run before. A great one there. Yeah, so both teams are in a bit of an unfamiliar position here. We just see the Storm players are just getting in each other's way. So already a bit of infighting for the Storm team. We'll have to hope they sort that one out. As now it's going to be Wishart right to Chad Johnson. He takes a run here on the 4th tackle, so he's out of commission for the kick. They go to Monkey, and he kicks it downfield once again to Ruri Jones. So they're really trying to avoid Tama Turbo here, which is probably a good idea. But Ruri Jones is a dangerous kick returner anyway, so not someone you want to see get a heap of ballers. Now it's Tama Turbo. He's straight past one, but the captain gets in. The line slides well there to cover that tackle. Lefty, we are long pass out to Ryan Nolt. So the Storm already getting expensive. They're only down by 4 points, but they're chasing already. Time will tell if that's the right attitude. Riri Jones goes into the midfield here for a bit of a run. He ball plays out to Aka Tank, who's been immense in these first 17 minutes. A couple of big hits and a line break. He'll be happy with his sin. And now Corcoran gets out of half. One thing we haven't seen for a little while, Anthony, is the big fend from the hookers. They're still getting out of half, but they're not making those sort of, 35-meter dashes that we saw a couple of weeks ago.
No, the defensive teams, they're getting wise to that now, and they're making sure at least one of their markers is onside. And I also suppose some of the fitness is starting to get up. We're getting into round 7 now, so some of those teams are really starting to get on their trot with how good they can last in the game. Unfortunately, some of us, however, Snicko, we tend to have some injuries here and there.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, I've seen your name flash up a couple of times in that little channel. Injury and hiatuses. While we're talking there, the Eels, sorry, not the Eels, they're in my head now. The Cowboys, with a bad changeover, give the Storm the ball. A full set in the attacking zone here, which is dangerous. Then, but now they go out to Tyrese Tonga. He's been one man that's been very dangerous so far. I got the wrong jersey on, but that's okay. He's playing out on that right edge. As now Pep Sanchez goes for a bit of a run. The first time the two of them touch the ball, the right second rower and centre. There's now a second tackle. They go left. Metcalf looking to make up for that bad kick earlier. Goes to Quinton Cotter, who wrestles forward, brought down eventually. Left again here. They really fancy themselves down this edge. Ryan Nolt punching through a whole heap of meters. He's brought down 5 from the line. 2 tackles left here. Looks like Tummer's out to the right, but there's not enough time for the pass. Jack White instead's going to go himself. Turned on his back right next to the sticks. I will go upstairs quickly. I think this is... Couldn't tell you who this referee is, Anthony. Are you aware?
No, but I do not like his yellow jersey. That looks far too much like soccer for my liking.
Yeah, as we see the no try flash up. So 5th tackle. I'll have to wait and see what they do with it. Surely they can get to a good kick here after a set start. Puts in a good grubber Metcalf. Oh, cleaned up by Chad Johnson. Throws a big dummy and gets smashed. Turnover. Tama Turbo turned on his back. The Cowboys back-to-back errors. This is very dangerous. Chad Johnson, he got lost in the sauce there. The white boy, unfortunately, did a bit too much and he got absolutely leveled.
Well, Chad Johnson, he looked as casual as all get out. He just picked the ball up and threw a bit of a dummy and just got whacked into next week. So he had no one to blame but himself there. And the fact that the defenders were able to get around Tam is more of a miracle than anything else.
Yeah, it's now Riri Jones. He's going to push forward here. Pressure building on the Cowboys line. Repeat sets here for them. What can they do? Metcalf, he wants to fall over the line. Looks like he might get there. No, turn on his back. 3rd tackle. Just repeat pressure here so far, Anthony. The Cowboys, they've typically been a pretty porous defensive team. Bit of Swiss cheese about their defense, but for the moment, holding firm.
Yeah, the fatigue looks like it's really picking up here, and the Storm, they are relentless when it comes to this sort of thing. They just force and force and force, and well, already he's just run off and just left his blokes one player short there, Snicko.
Yeah, he just missed the memo. They only meant to sub in defense, apparently, as he ran off the field. This is about the 5th time we've gone up, which is not good refereeing, but that doesn't really matter. Turner's back there, the Storm player. And so, yeah, fresh pop substitutions. Maybe that can change the game a little bit. But I got to say, for the most part, these sides have been pretty evenly matched. Not what I expected coming here. I was really wanted to see 50 points from the Storm, but maybe they'll still get there. As now Nolt's going to push forward. Someone gets around his legs right at the end here. The Storm, they got to make the most of this one. They've had a lot of time down here. What can they do? Oh, it's a knock on. But it was off the Cowboys. So again, the Storm with another set here, another set of 6. And Riri Jones goes for a bit of a run. They just need one play to crack this line. So far, really resilient defense from the Cowboys. They keep turning up for each other. They go out to Note. He's had about 600 touches, yet to score. Almost gets there. They go left again here, short side. Out to Lachlan Lockyer, fresh on the field. He wants to try. He's not going to get one. I'm not much of a stats man, but I would have to say it feels like it's 35 tackles inside the red zone for the Storm for 0 tries, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm just more impressed at the Cowboys' defense here or shocked at the lack of penetration here from the Storm because surely they should be over now, and yet somehow the Cowboys keep turning up.
Yeah, firstly, probably not a good enough reason to use the word penetration. Secondly, big hit. Michael Crimp cleans it up. He's going to be brought down 19 out from the line. And yeah, Anthony said it best. Here we go. The Cowboys, they've stood tall and they've pushed away a really lackluster Storm attacking sets, not just one. There was 3 sets there that they didn't score. And now this could be a big momentum changer in this game. Crimp, talk about momentum. He had 0 driven backwards there. 4th tackle for the Storm here. Willie Wishart out of half doing what he does best, picks up 12 metres on the gallop. And they'll have to kick here. And probably for the first time in about 18 minutes, the ball's going to be out of the Cowboys' half. And miraculously, they're still up on the scoreboard, 4-0. It goes down to Eddie White. He gets a bit of a staggered defensive line, beats one. Someone gets on his back, though. They bring him down 28 out from his own line. The Storm, they need points here. They've had a lot of they put a lot of energy into that attack, and to not come away with points is quite disheartening for them and all the home fans in the crowd as they play just an absolute speculator pass there from half. Metcalf comes up with it. 40 out here, potentially 40-20 if they want it. They don't. Galaxy plays out to Maloka Suwali. He's brought down. Now it looks like they want a 40-20. Instead, Galaxy gets it, plays wide to Metcalf to Turbo now, and he's into the backfield, Turbo. But there was a lazy defender there, luckily for the Cowboys, who was able to get him. And the Storm, they'll be kicking from about halfway. Metcalf downfield. He's going to go down to the left winger of the Cowboys. Tyreek Hamilton, first time he's touched the ball tonight. Beats one with ease. He's probably pretty fresh out there. Hasn't really done a whole lot of work. And this is a bit of a repeat pattern that we've seen for the first 15 minutes or so, Anthony, where both sides are just playing meterage football.
Yeah, I was for a second there. Oh, there we go with another bit of a big hit. For a second there, I was going to say that the Storm could probably rely on the Cowboys gassing themselves out for a second. But considering how many times we went up to the bunker, I'm pretty sure that the Cowboys have got some fresh lungs. Oh, not knock on there.
Yeah, we've recently just seen that call count as a knock on, which is interesting, but you can only call it the rest do. One thing I'd like to say, and I think that you'll agree with me, Anthony, the Storm have just been absolutely brutal. That's like their 5th big hit in 27 minutes. The Cows yet to have one of themselves. So maybe the forwards here are really trying to just inspire their team with the big hits.
And
just change the momentum.
Remember, these big hits are coming from their bench props, Snicko. So this isn't even their A props on the field at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 from their bench props. And then Akatak had 2 or 3 himself, which is just crazy. And for the first time there, Jack White gets a big fend there. I was about to say Corcoran had a fend. Now Jack White has a fend. Maybe they are tired, Anthony. Maybe there's a bit of fatigue here. 4th tackle. Corcoran wants to try. He's not going to get one. A good tackle there. Krim brings him down. He spotted that one and got up on him early, so there was just no room for him. Looks like they're going to go right here. They need points to Storm. A really good grubber cleaned up by Metcalf. Metcalf is going to not get over. Oh, he might have. No, it's a handover. Once again, the Cowboys turn the Storm away. And it seems like for every question that the Storm asked, the Cowboys, they might not have the full answer, but they have just enough to stop any points.
Well, these Cowboys, they must be redlining at the moment because I know I am just gripping my chair. I do not know how they keep turning the Storm away, Snicker.
Yeah, as Willie Wishart gets out of half, it's just good teammates. They're all turning up for each other, defending both sides of themselves, making sure there's numbers in every tackle to stop anyone that gets over the trial. And there's none of those fall over the line tries that we've seen so far. 10 minutes left in this half. Storm yet to score a try. They're really in an unfamiliar position here. We'll have to wait and see what they can do. As now Johnson, he goes across field to Eddie White. He gets in the backfield. Michael Krim gets him. Probably, well, look, not the best field position the Storm had to start the second, considering they had 3 or 4 repeats, but the best start they've had for a meterage set anyway. He'll be brought down about 40 out from the line. Corcoran now gets to the half, tries to break a tackle, can't do it. 52 out from his own line, 3rd tackle here. They go right, Lockyer, one of the men that's got the hit stick out tonight in attack. Not so effective, but still gets some meters. Now Ryan Nolt, he's one man that's going to get leather poisoning the amount that he's touching this ball here tonight. 5th tackle, they're going to have to punt it. Looks like it's going to go to Metcalf on that right-hand side. He goes down to Tyreek Hamilton. Dangerous on the kick return is Tyreek. Not this time, though. Tyrese Tonga brings him down. And, yeah, look, you take out that Cowboys try, and this has been the story of the night. Between the 40 of the Cowboys line and the 10 of the Cowboys line, the 40 of the Storm line is where the ball has been all game. But just for the life of this Storm team, Anthony, they can't get over that try and put the ball down.
And I think a lot of it has to do with that hooker just there, Willie Wishart. I was watching him the previous defensive set there against the Storm. If he wasn't in at marker, or he wasn't tackling, then he was in and around the ruck, just waiting for the offload or waiting for someone to break off. So I think if they can get to the halftime 4 points up, the Cowboys owe a lot of that to the boy, not just who scored the try, but also stopping so many others being scored.
Yeah, he's having a blinder so far. Willie Wishart, that is for sure. And like we mentioned, he's probably been the best player all season, which is great to see. We'll have to wait and see if he can continue because I think probably he would be close to my hooker of the year so far, Anthony. I'd probably have
Yeah.
him, Blair Curtin, Will Kay when he decides to turn up as my three strongest hookers. I'd have to think.
The only other hooker I might add to that list, I'd probably Mark Lee as well because he's currently got the record for most tackles in a game. So defensively, Mark Lee's been pretty strong as well.
Yeah, I suppose, but you have to say one game does not simply if he play and make. I've got to say I haven't caught all of the Titans games, so maybe he's been outstanding. I'm not paying attention. Now they go outside, inside here. Tamatoba into the backfield. He's going to go straight past Crimp. Another one gets him though on his back, and again the Cowboys stop the Storm a meter out from the line, so they're going to go right now. Tonga plays the ball off the head. Pep Sanchez. That is a fluke. That is luck, but sometimes that is all you need. And the Storm, you got to think they're going to take the lead here with the kick. It was well deserved with the amount of ball they've had, but that is not a good way to score a try. That is not sustainable football.
No, and I was just about to say the person who brought Tama down there inches from the line was Willie Wishart again, and
Of course, it was.
unfortunately, yeah, that little bit of a lapse to play the ball afterwards has led off all that good work the Cowboys have done.
Yeah, if that try was an energy source, it would be coal because that is not sustainable, not renewable. The Storm cannot rely on that as the future goes. They need some nuclear energy out there, I think. Tama Turbo could be the man to bring it. It was his line break that set up the good field position. Now the Storm, they're back where they like to be in front and as they have been all season, in control. 5 minutes to go in this half. There's still a time for a twist in this tail, but you got to think by the skin of their teeth, the Storm will go into half time in the lead, which is probably tough for any supporting Cowboys because they've been terrific on the line. But the weight of possession, eventually the weight of possession it's shown here, and the Storm have got one on the board here. It's just funny, Anthony, when you're having a good season, these kinds of things just happen. Like they needed a try there and out of nowhere, off the head, into the in goal. And
Yeah,
whereas for the Cowboys, they've sort of been struggling a bit, and that's the kind of try they concede. It's just funny the way that the ball bounces sometimes.
it's that impact of the SRL gods there. You can train day in, day out every week. You can turn up easily club favorites and favorites to win the game, but a single he stopped on a dime there. Nope,
Oh, and
there
it
we go.
won't matter. Crimp taken out after a great kick by Galaxy. But like Anthony was saying, a single bad bounce and you just concede the lead in such a cruel way. And now Galaxy's gone and doubled down. A great kick from him, a virtual 40-20. Maybe don't give Metcalf the ball to kick anymore if Galaxy can kick like that. And now with, 3 minutes left on the line, it could be the Storm's game to lose here. If they score here, that could almost be curtains because the Cowboys have just done so much defense. I don't see how they can have anything left in the tank. Now it's Maloko Suali'i brought down two out from the line. They've stacked the short side again, the Storm. That's where they go. Ryan Nold, he's worked hard all game. Can't get one. He's a bit close to the line here. Corcoran might just get jumped on. Nah, he gets a good pass out. Galaxy's rushed up on. A great tackle there. The Cowboys, they're so brave at the moment, but can they hold out just for one more set? Jack White, he plays the long ball out to Metcalf. He wants to push over the halfback. He'll be brought down a meter after the line here. It's all coming down to Matt Galaxy. What can he do off the boot? He's getting into position on the right, on the left. Oh, and they play a face ball. Jack White. That is too good from Corcoran at half. Everyone looking out the back for the kick, and they just go short. Jack White strolls over, and that is a cruel way to concede a try. That is the SRO at its peak from the Storm. Just they had the slightest of opportunities and scored back to back to go in to halftime with a 10-point lead, an 8-point lead. So I can't empathize with the Cowboys enough because that is just rough.
Especially when Jack White, the footy head on him as he is, using that goalpost there as an extra almost a block runner to make sure that he can get over without being touched by any defender there. The Cowboys, they can still hold their heads high, but with 10 points, with the amount of points that it's hard to score at the moment, they're going to have to come out firing in the second half here, Snicker.
Yeah, that's for sure. Chad Johnston will kick us off here minutes ago. And you're 100% right. They need to find a way to get down to the other end in the first place before they can score some points. They've been down there twice, I think, and they scored one time, so their strike rate's not bad. 50%, they could almost go in the test team for this upcoming Ashes opener, face 100 balls, score 50. We'd all be happy with that. Anyway, off topic. What they do need to do is get downfield, the Cowboys. They're going to get a break at halftime. They can regroup, maybe some substitutions, because at the moment, the forward pack battle is being won entirely by the Storm. And yeah, eventually the weight of possession is just told, Corcoran just gets smashed. Quinton Quatter comes up with it. So there's at least one Storm player. I think that was Malukas Suwali. Maybe not. Sorry, Mataudia. Got my M's mixed up. From the Cowboys doing some damage, but that'll be half time here. 12-4. Hurry ding, you've got the king. We're back for another half. 12-4 to Melbourne Storm. They were down for the majority of that half, and then two late tries secured the early comeback here to put them into an 8-point lead at half time. Some interesting subs from both teams. We'll have to wait and see how they go. Anthony, for me, the big sub, maybe they've been doing it every week and I haven't been paying attention. Just a little caveat. But the interesting stuff for me was Akatank off the field.
Yeah, all I can think is Jack White wants Akatank to come back on in that final quarter to really smack into some of those bench props or the bench centers that come in to prop at kind of that 60-minute mark, because you kind of want your strong boys coming on right now to stamp your foot down on the neck before we can get any more points into us. So I suppose the other interesting point was Jack White. It looks like he's out there for the rest of the game tonight, Snicker.
Yeah, really following the Carl Lewis school of captaincy, which is if you're a captain, play yourself in the best spot for the most minutes. I'll have to wait and see how that goes for Jack White here tonight. And yeah, that means that Akatank won't be playing 55 because Jack White will be playing that last 20 or so at lock instead of subbing. So yeah, interesting change here for a team that's coming second to change their sub so drastically. Is certainly a move. But, we'll wait and see how it goes. Perhaps this could, elevate them even further up the ladder and really unlock their team's potential. We'll have to wait and see. As now it's Lucas Juice brought down. And one thing to touch on, Willie Wishart had over 100 metres at half time, and then he went for another 20-metre dash. That's a forward pass. Not called. Shaq the Unknown's brought down with it. Yeah, Willie Wishart, terrific first half in a defeated team. Once again, probably been their best player, but unfortunately, they just haven't come to the party. The rest of these Cowboys, they're out. I know. Hitting horses with the rodeo loop or whatever it is that Cowboys do, because they're not playing football, that's for sure. They defended really well, in all honesty, and then forgot how to attack, Anthony.
Yeah, and we can't even really blame fitness for it, because we were looking at some of those boys walking off the field, and they do not look as tired as the amount of defending they would have to. But I suppose, on the other hand, the refs keep sending it up to the bunker, so they're having a lot of stoppages throughout the game to really draw that air in. So at the end of the game, if they lose it, fitness at least is not something they'll be able to blame it on.
Yeah, that's for sure. Both teams are very rested in the halftime huddle, as now the Storm are going to kick. And once again, the Storm made much more meters than the Cowboys, which is what we saw all first half. And a good kick from Galaxy down to Nate O'Donnell, who's just driven backwards there on contact. So it looks like in the first 5 minutes anyway, the Cowboys haven't been able to fix what happened in the first half, which was really just a poor showing by their forward pack, just no meters, little line breaks, and unfortunately for them, a game played almost entirely in their own territory makes it very hard to score points.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do waiting for the other team to force an error. They might be in chance for a kick here. So if Chad Johnson can pull the foot out, that would go a long way to getting them down the other end of the field. Oh, that's not going to help at all.
Lucas Juice just put one out on the full, so the exact opposite of what AMAC was suggesting. The wrong player kicked into the wrong area. That's just not good from the Cowboys, and maybe this could be the floodgates opening, so to speak, the dam letting the water out, because the Storm, they're dangerous. That's what we can say. They're dangerous in the red zone. It took them a long time in the first half to crack this team. Then when they did it again almost immediately. So is that going to happen again? We'll have to wait and see. Jack White, the Iron Man 80-minute player, brought down about 15 out from the line. Tama Turbo, he's just licking his lips at the moment. Oh, Tyler Doonan gets out of half. Forget Fight Club. That is a terrific fend from him. Tama Turbo now plays a short ball to Jack White. He wants a double. He's not going to get it. Not yet. Anyway, brought down onto his back. And you can just tell the Storm players are licking their lips. There's a lot of fatigue in this Cowboys lineup already, it seems, just the way they're getting beaten in the tackles. So I think that the Storm, they'll just keep plugging away here. They got 2 tackles left, I believe. We'll see in a minute. Yeah, 2 tackles left to do some damage. They go short side straight away. It goes out to Riri Jones, and he can't beat anyone. Great defense out there by that Cowboys right edge, Nate O'Donnell. Now they have a chance for a kick, though. Is that what they want? Perhaps. After a long play of the ball, Galaxy kicks it, half his team offside. They get the bat back, and Monkey comes down with the captain in the right place at the right time, and playing Russian roulette at the moment, the Cowboys, but they've dodged a bullet there, Anthony.
Yeah, I think Monkey, I don't know how he knew that was going to happen. It must be from all his training up at the Cowboys and the Broncos last season. He knew exactly on a dime where that ball was going, and the fact that they're out to the 30 on their third already, they might. Well, there's Wishart there dragging his team slowly up the field. Don't give it to Deuce. Give it to Johnson right now because. Oh, there we go. He runs on and steals it out of the hands of Deuce, but
And
that
he puts it
doesn't
out on
work
the
either.
full. Chad Johnson, that is atrocious. Both halves now have gone out on the full, and you're right. He just sharked that ball and then put it on the boot. That wasn't even close to being in field. That's led it a good 2 meters out there. So the Cowboys, they got all sorts of worries in the kicking department. And now they play a short ball. Tyrese Togger, he's a dangerous man. He's scored a couple of tries already this season. And a good line break there from him. Now the Storm once again attacking position. I've seen this story before. Jack White, he's going to push for the line. He's not going to get there a meter out here. Do they play the face ball once again? It worked so well last time. They do. It goes to Galaxy. Is he going to fall over here, Galaxy? He does. Turned on his back here. Not strong enough. A young Matthew there will go upstairs, but I'm pretty sure this one's no try.
And again, I suppose the Cowboys, they are letting this happen so that they can get a bit more air back in the lungs. This is about the third, I think, back to back almost on their line in the second half here, Snicko. So if the Storm can't get over here, well, I don't want to say it because it's going to jinx it straight away, but there might be some problems at the Storm if they can't score after all this pressure.
Yeah, that's for sure. 5th tackle once again. Tony's back, and like we said in the first half, just all this bunkering just gives the Cowboys a chance just to get their breath back. Who's that with the pink hair? I quite like that. Is that Sonny Sharp? Anyway, I digress. So now it'll be once again the Storm 5th tackle in the red zone. It'll come down to a kick. What can Metcalf produce? What can Galaxy produce? It's Galaxy. He puts in a pretty good grubber. The chaser gets it, but Chad Johnson gets it this time. He doesn't get the old kick hit, and he's able to get it out of his own in goal. And the Cowboys, they're fighting hard here, Anthony. They don't want to give this game up just yet.
No, but unfortunately, they've lost 5 meters there with the good attacking defense, I should say, from the Storm. They're going to be lucky if they can get out of their top 20 here. They might have to go for a 20-40 instead of a 40-20.
Yeah, always risky, especially with the way these two boys have been kicking. I think they're going to end up probably not going for either. So maybe we finally see a useful kick here from the Cowboys. They go left. Mataudia, he bumps past one and gets folded. Metcalf into the backfield. He gets a goose step away before he's brought down. The Cowboys just cannot get out of their own end. The Storm with so much ball, so much pressure. What can they do? Inside ball, Tama Turbo. He's going to score. He's too good, Tama Turbo. He's brought down eventually in the in goal, but it doesn't matter. The ball's already over the line. A nice inside play to him. Beats one. Sort of flashes there. Yeah, dives for the line. And the pressure was just telling, wasn't it, Anthony? There's just too many class players in this Storm team to keep him out if you're going to give him so much repeat possession.
Yeah, Willie Wishart can only do so much. There's another 12 blokes on the field there that need to be able to lock down. Well, you've got to lock down Tama. We've known all season that he's the in-form fullback at the moment. He, not just fullback, he also kicks the 2-pointers for the Storm as well. So he is in the running for the points leadership the rest of the sim points towards the end of the season. Personally, I kind of want the Storm to stop scoring right now. I've got them for 9-18, and I would love to get a couple more coins in the bank here, Snicker.
Yeah, because if there's one thing the SRL needs, it's Anthony McDonald to get more coins.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, as a lock, there's I really need to bump that fitness up because I'm sick of sitting on the sidelines for half a game.
Oh, now a held in tackle penalty. This has just gone from bad to worse for the Cowboys. Yeah, you know what? Every league needs to have one dominant forward, and it might as well be you. I've decided. And the way you're playing, it could be. But back to this game, the Cowboys. They're a gunslinging team, the mascot of the Cowboys, but for the moment, shooting themselves in the foot with back-to-back errors, back-to-back penalties, kicking the ball out of the foot. I don't think they've kicked yet this half, Anthony. Just for me, John. I think they've put it out in the full twice, and there's been errors every other time. Oh, and Tyler Doonan just gets folded there. So do you think maybe it's up to Monkey to try and get the ball in his boot, or how do you think they can solve this problem?
Well, first they need to get themselves into a kicking position where they can actually put it in the right place. They've by only being able to get to that 40, they put the pressure on themselves straight away. And I don't know, maybe the Melbourne, the way they are, they've got a couple of industrial fans up there that really shoots the ball off in all crazy directions. That's going to help a lot. And there you go, Snicko. That's the man you were talking about just now.
Yeah. So he needs to get his hand on the ball and kick it, not get his balls on the hands after they kick it. Hands on the ball after they kick it. But look, whatever works for the Cowboys, they need all the luck they can get at the moment. Down 14 points. Lucas Dukes gets out of half. That is one man who looks tired. Just no acceleration from him at all there. I feel these Storm players actually are not doing a lot of work getting off the right because Willie Wishart, he's got sticky fingers. He just likes to run him. With the way the Cowboys have been handled, I probably don't blame him as now Mataudia. He goes to Johnson. He goes out to Kerrigan. What's he doing out in the edge? Getting tackled. That's what brought down on the 30-meter line. Fifth tackle here. We cross our fingers. We cross our toes. What can they do off the boot? And finally, it's a good kick. Chad Johnson goes down, Eddie White, and now they need a good kick return. They get one. This could be the chance, Mac? Maybe finally, for the first time in a long time, the Cowboys forwards could muscle up.
Yeah, and really, they're only chasing 14 points, and we've seen, both of us, Nico, we've seen
Way
14 points
bigger.
racked up, way bigger,
Yeah.
racked up really, really quickly. So, if they can force an error here, or if they can at least keep the Storm down here, there is a chance for the Cowboys to at least come close here.
Yeah, definitely. We all saw what happened when Deuce and Johnson put two balls out on the full. It led to points. So if they can put that kind of pressure back on the Storm, who knows what can happen? Is that's a good step from them. They made the best part of 30 meters after no one really made an impact in this. Galaxy kicking deep from his own half now. He goes to Nate O'Donnell. If he can just get a little line break, could be very telling. And that's what he does here. Picks off an extra 15 meters before Turbo gets to him. Tama Turbo doing all sorts of damage at the back. Shaq the Unknown now gets it. He's fresh on the field. Gets a good 8 meters there. The Cowboys finally have made their way into the Storm half for about the first time in this second half. And now they look to attack. Crimp into the backfield here. He gets offload away. Chad Johnson. I thought I saw a Storm hand, but the referee disagrees with me. No 6 again. Third tackle for the Cowboys. They go left now. Monkey, Shaq the Unknown, loses meterage there. He just needs to eat some spinach and get some strength because that was atrocious. Fourth tackle now. Chad Johnson. He goes to Michael Crimp. They go wide. Nate O'Donnell, he slips past one, but he's brought down in a good tackle by Eddie White. And after starting in some really good position, they haven't done much with it, the Cowboys. So once again, it'll be Justin Monkey to punt. And that's a pretty good one across field. Goes to the hands of Eddie White, and he once again is brought down. So they're playing him out of their corners, which is exactly what you need to do. And once again, maybe these forwards can muscle up as Terrence Terry, or Terry for short, is brought down. 29 out from the line. Terry Chicken. Get that from Subway. Tyrese Tonga now brought down 29 out from his line. 30 after some post-contact meters. The Storm, they're just rolling up the sleeves. They're getting through the work. Maloko Suali brought down on the 40-meter line. Chance for a 40-20. They're going to roll the dice. Galaxi's back in position, and he goes downfield. It's only meterage, though. So it's going to be, I think, well, it's Mataudia who comes up with it. Not what I expected, but nonetheless, the last maybe 8 minutes, and a healthy tackle penalty. So definitely the last 8 minutes or so, Anthony, the Cowboys have turned up. Almost since you said they can come back, it's like they heard you, and they've really come to play.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, the Storm, they spent about 3 minutes letting them have a try, run up the field, and then they realised, oh wait, we need to keep winning this game, and they turned back on defensive-wise. So, oh, there's another good run from Willie Wishart. It's 18 minutes left, which is still not a point a minute. If they can score now at the end of this set, they're in for a good chance here, Snicko, but time is not your friend down here at Amy Park.
Yeah, I just got to wonder, is Willie Wishart overdoing it, do you think? I guess he hasn't got a fend off yet, like we've seen Corker and Anduni. Do you think they're wise to him? Do you think he does it so often that it's almost telegraphed?
You'd think so. There must be some sort of code phrase that they keep shouting to him from behind the ball. So, here we go. Kick time, kick time. No kick chase whatsoever. That was a bit of a missed opportunity there, Snicker.
Yeah, the number 6 for the Cowboys picked up by the number 7 from the Storm. Unfortunately for them, Luke Metcalf was all over. And now, yeah, Akatank back on the field. I expect him to have a big impact. He's been sitting there watching his Storm team for quite a long time. And like you mentioned, he's got some outside backs to run at masquerading in this prop role. So we'll have to see what kind of damage he can do. As Tyrese Tonga tries to break a tackle, can't do so. Fourth tackle here, they've gone absolutely nowhere. So Galaxy plays the inside border. This name is giving me headaches. Maloko Suali'i. He's brought down 40 out from the line. I need to do some pronunciation guides, perhaps in between rounds. Now Metcalf goes downfield. Once again, Tyreek Hamilton gets in. They just need something from their back three, Anthony. Just one of them needs to stand up.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to do that when you've got Ryan Nolt doing amazing work defensively there, but that was a lovely ball to Captain Monkey.
Yeah, Justin Monkey storming into a huge hole there. I'm not sure what the defensive line was doing, but they just parted like the Red Sea. And Mitchell, Moses, Justin Monkey, the same player, went straight through that one. As now Luke Malquist, he's back on the field as well in that prop role where he was so known for in SRL 1.0. He's back there again. Wishart, yeah, driven backwards there. So like we said, maybe there's too much. And Chad Johnson, what are you doing? It looked like he wanted a 40-20, realized he was on the wrong 40-meter line, dug into the line, threw a horrific pass. And probably both the halves of the Cowboys. I couldn't really single one out because they've been doing it as a team effort. They've just been atrocious tonight, Anthony.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily for the first half. They were
Oh,
about 7 different bump offs there from JM.
yeah,
They
from who, Anthony?
from Lucas Olali. It's almost as hard to say as Poesa for Ali over on the
Yeah, just
Titans.
too many syllables. But you're right. He had 3 or 4 bump offs there, and he's put the Storm in good position here. It looks like they're going to bomb. No, Metcalf right to the line, puts in a grubber. Chad Johnson comes down with it. Oh, dummies one. Straight pass. I think it was Galaxy coming through. He just absolutely fooled, sold the candy. Chad Johnson did there. And now the Cowboys, once again, back, rinse and repeat, back to what we've seen all game, coming out of their own half. Can they just get one line break? Oh, Willie Wishart here. This is good. No fend there, but he spotted the offside markers. Crimp will get into half now. He's going to get out as well. Crimp beats one. But the cover gets him. So the Storm, they're wise to the tricks here. They say, I've played these games before. And Wishart, 3 in a row. There's his fend. But it doesn't matter because there's 3 players in behind the ruck. I think that's what I'm speaking about when we say pick your opportunities. There was a marker offside, yes. But the 2 markers from the previous tackle were literally right behind the ruck. So there wasn't much room there for Willie Wishart after he did fend anyways. Now, Eddie White goes for a bit of a run. 11 minutes left in this one, Anthony. The Cowboys, they probably need a big hit or something here because they need to get some ball down in this half.
Yeah, I'm almost going to call it, Snicko. The Cowboys. They're brave. They've been doing what they can, but they've scored 4 points in 70 minutes. I don't think they got any more points in them tonight. And if anything, they might score 1, but it's purely going to be for pride, I think.
Yeah, pretty unlikely that they score enough to get up here as Tyler Doonan just does a big fend out of half there. And I think I agree with you. The Storm, they've been clinical here tonight. They were down early. They kept peppering away. We sort of wondered what they were doing with the attack, but it was all a long game just to really wear out the Cowboys and score some easy points later on. And I'm pretty sure I went 9-18 as well, so I'm not too disappointed with this one as now Shaq the Unknown goes for a bit of a run. 9.5 minutes left in this game. The Cowboys, Willie Wishart, he just keeps running. I wonder what his fitness is like. I wonder if it's max yet because you got to think that's what the Cowboys will be looking at with the way that this guy plays as now Johnson plays a short ball out to Shaq the Unknown. I guess my other question is, Anthony, with the form that Wishart's in, do you think they just stick him in the 6 and just see what can happen? Because I think they need to change in their halves one way or another.
Yeah, well, after this game, the Cowboys, they're going to be sitting on what is it, 2-5, and that's not
Lonely.
necessarily writing you out of finals contention, but that is a long road into the top 8 with, well, we've got 8 8 rounds left to go after this one. So this is probably the time, if they're going to pull the trigger and test a couple of different positions here and there, they need to do it next week because, the Cowboys, sitting next week, the Cowboys, they are up against the Panthers next week, and that's going to be a tricky one there, Snicko.
Yeah, both teams towards the bottom of the ladder. Of course, the Panthers might win this week. I don't know. And shoot their way up. But yeah, 2-5. Hypothetically speaking, you'd want to be 8-7 to finish the season if you want to be any chance of making semis. So they need to go 6-2 to finish this one, or 6-3, sorry. Which is probably pretty unlikely, as now Galaxy puts in a nice grab of Darius Mitchell. It's him with a nice hair. Darius Mitchell was brought down eventually. So the Cowboys, they're up against the Panthers next week, but they're up against it in general for the rest of this season. They need to start winning, and they need to start doing it probably last round, if not this round, definitely next round.
Yeah. Oh, that was a cheeky little pass to Deuce, using the ruck as a bit of a
Decoy.
extra decoy there. So, yeah, they need more of that. Crimp has really been unsighted in this second half. He was pretty strong for the first half, but he's been doing so much damn tackling. There's just nothing he's been able to do in attack for this last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's like we mentioned at the start of the game. He did the same last week. He had a couple of line breaks, and he just faded out of it because the Cowboys, they just don't get in good enough field position to really utilize their attacking players. There's now Riri Jones into the backfield versus the Storm. You think about how much ball they've had attacking the line. You contrast that with the Cowboys, and it's probably a good thing. It's only an 18-point deficit for the Cowboys, which is a really rough thing to say in totality. But with the way that the Storm have been playing, it wouldn't, in the way they can rack up points, I wouldn't be shocked to have seen them going huge here today. As now they get a no 6 again, so it's just rules of offload. Galaxy comes down with it. Third tackle here for the Storm, probably one of their last attacking chances. They work that short side once again. Jose Riri Jones, he's doing a lot of damage down there. He goes inside ball, Jaden Walker, and that might just put him in position for a good kick here if they can get one last good run. Oh, Maloko Asa Aluei. Sorry, that was atrocious. Maloko Asualei. I need to actually get on the beers if I want to pronounce that properly, I think. Anyway, he just dropped the ball in the Storm. Probably their last chance. They coughed it up, and the Cowboys have come up with it.
And, well, my bet probably thanks that, because the Storm looked almost like they were going to score then. So a couple of punters out there, really happy with that. The Storm, though, they have switched off a little bit tonight when it comes to attacking. And
Switch to flight mode.
Yeah, considering they've got, I think they're up against the Tigers next week. The Tigers, they're going to be hungry for another win.
What are the Tigers? 2-3? Sorry, 2-4?
1-5.
1-5. Oh, yeah, they will be hungry for another win. But lucky for the Storm, I haven't got too many this season. So maybe, Riri Jones into the backfield. There's a foot race on here. This could go 19 plus. Please, someone catch him. But it's not going to happen. Riri Jones breaks the heart of many a punter and takes them out to an 18-point lead. You can't see Tama Turbau missing this one. Riri Jones, we spoke about it only moments ago. He's been dangerous down that left edge, and that one was just pure class from the young winger.
Oh, and look at that head of hair. That's criminal there,
I like
Snicker.
it. I like it.
I've got no eye for fashion. So if you say it's fashionable, then I'm just going to have to bow to your
Have you seen my
there.
player? I wouldn't take my advice. Anyways,
No.
Turbau spots that. Yeah, and probably this is a bit more accurate of how this game's gone. 20 points feels about right. Sadly, I'm not a very good tipster. I haven't been all season, but I was hoping I was going to get this one. I think that in the entirety of this game, it felt like a bit of a 20-point margin, even if it wasn't on the board, with just the amount of ball that the Storm had really telling in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right there. If at 20 points is probably a little bit flattering in the end, to tell you the truth, considering how much time the Storm have spent camped on the Cowboys' red zone.
Yeah, and Turbo wanted another one there. He just finds line breaks for fun. Tyler Doonan now, he gets pushed backwards there. Is Tama going to double up? Three in a row. The markers are split. Yeah, and he gets out here. Turbo beats one into the backfield. Tama Turbo is going to make this a 26-point game. He is too good. Get the notebook out. Figure out what Turbo's doing. Copy him, because he is the best player in the SRL right now.
And, well, you don't think he's going to miss this one, so that's going to make it 30 points to 4. And, don't those Storm fans love it, having their fullback go over for that's a hat-trick for him tonight.
Yeah, he'd just about be leading the try scoring, you'd have to say, for the entire SRL. If I believed in stats, I'd look that up, but I don't, so I won't. And so I'll just make it up that he is a leading try scorer. Probably goes to the leading point scorer. He's been kicking the whole season for the Storm as well. And that'll be it. The sorry Cowboys, they'll be unhappy with that one, you'd have to think, as they went down comprehensive losers in the end. They're up 4-0. They conceded 30 points. As we look at some stats, yeah, 60-40 possession feels about right with how that game went. 8 extra sets completed for the Storm. 9 errors for the Cowboys. An extra 40 tackles. That's a killer. Double the line breaks for the Storm, and the run meters an extra 400. You can, I probably could close my eyes and told you that just by watching that game. It's just so dominant by the Melbourne Storm. We'll look at some individual stats, and I might close my eyes this time, so Anthony will have to take these for me.
Yeah, so we're not even going to get down to Ntama yet, because Jack White, captain's knock of captain's knock, 156, 27 tackles, a tackle break, a line break, a try of his own. You would be giving him man of the match if it wasn't for some of these other boys down here. Tonga, 102 run meters. Keep going to Metcalf. A bit of a dodgy night off the boot, but 184 run meters isn't anything to be sneezed at.
Where'd they come from?
Yeah. Eddie White off the wing, 115. Galaxy. But everyone wants to know what Tama's going. And when you're running
pause. 313 for the winger, Riri Jones. Before we touch on Tama, when a winger's doing 300 meters, that is dangerous. Sorry, back to you, Anthony.
Jesus. Yeah, I didn't even see Weary Jones. I didn't see him touch the ball that much, Snicko. So
he went length of the field and then had like 3 line breaks in the last 5 minutes.
Well, there you go. Almost beating Tama there. So Tama's got someone lapping at his heels to take that fullback position if he has maybe even 1 or 2 bad weeks.
Yeah, potentially, as we just close out there. Yeah, Quinton Cotter at the bottom. But yeah, Tama Turbo, 341, 5 line breaks. Here's the story here tonight. As now we go to the Cowboys, and you know what, I'm not excited to read this.
Well, I mean, Lucas Deuce tried. He's got 155 run meters.
I think they all tried. Just sometimes your best is not good enough.
Nathan O'Donnell, 102. There's Chad Johnson. We haven't got to Willie Wishart yet. If he's not floating in and around 100, mid-hundreds, close to 200, there he is, 210, 34 tackles, a couple missed. But you can't put 12 people on your shoulders and win the game with just one bloke there, Sticker.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you just look at the lock for the Cowboys. He only had the 97 meters. You compare that to Jack White, who had 130, I think it was. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, chalk and cheese here. These two teams, we spoke about at the start of the game how it was going to be a bit one-sided, and that's how it worked out. David and Goliath here, but in this story, Goliath squashed David under his toes.
Well, if nothing else, I would not like to be the Tigers next week. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I tell you what, I would like to be Tama Turbo. It must be fun to score tries. Anyway, that's it from us tonight. Been a pleasure down here in Melbourne, which is such a surprise. Anyway, we'll see you all in the future for another game.